When Lewis Hamilton crossed the line in Barcelona, there was no celebration, no cheers, no radio gratitude, just silence. Shortly after came frustration, because Hamilton knew something wasn't right. The SF-25 felt slow, unresponsive, as if the power had suddenly vanished when he needed it most. Thanks to newly surfaced telemetry and Fred Vaser's own revelations, we finally know the truth. Ferrari's engine department has a serious issue on their hands, and it may have just cost Hamilton his best shot at a breakthrough in red. But what exactly went wrong in Spain? Why did Hamilton's performance collapse after the safety car? And more importantly, what has Ferrari done about it? According to Vaser, there's a change coming that could transform Hamilton's entire season, even if most fans won't ever see it. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay until the very end so you don't miss a single detail about the SF-25's hidden engine drama. This wasn't just a disappointing Sunday for Lewis Hamilton, it was a coded message from inside Ferrari. Because even before the checkered flag waved in Barcelona, team principal Fred Vaser had already revealed something huge. In the post-race debrief, when asked about the team's sudden loss of pace, Vaser didn't deflect. He didn't blame tires or talk strategy. He said this: he had a problem on the car in the final stint on both cars. But here's where it gets explosive. He didn't stop there. He added that the issue wasn't related to oil, hinting instead at something internal. And then came the real bombshell. Vaser admitted that Ferrari is introducing new upgrades to the SF-25, but not all of them will be visible. What does that mean? That Ferrari is now working in the shadows, reprogramming the heart of the car far from the eyes of fans and cameras. And that brings us to the core revelation, the real story behind Ferrari's sudden shift in engineering philosophy. The team isn't just making upgrades, they're rewriting the SF-25's internal architecture. Engineers in Maranello have begun implementing deep system-level changes to the power unit, including software recalibrations, energy deployment algorithms, and revised harvesting logic. These aren't cosmetic fixes. This isn't about a new winglet or a diffuser tweak. These changes are structural, buried deep within the electronic brain of the car, where only the telemetry can see them. Let's break that down. What Ferrari is doing now is altering how the hybrid system delivers power under stress. Specifically, they're optimizing how electrical energy from the MGUK and MGUH is stored, released, and balanced across a lap. This is crucial during high-degradation moments, like safety car restarts or late-race battles, where split-second deployment decisions can make or break performance. If the car delivers its energy at the wrong moment or holds back out of caution, the result is exactly what we saw in Spain, Hamilton fading into the midfield while his rivals pull away. But it goes deeper than just software lines. Ferrari is also believed to be adjusting thermal management protocols within the ERS energy recovery system, allowing the power unit to run hotter without triggering fail-safes that limit performance.
Because when a driver like Lewis starts questioning the machinery underneath him, you don't just risk performance, you risk trust. You risk losing the one thing you brought him in for: belief. Belief that Ferrari was ready to build around him. Belief that they weren't just hiring a superstar to decorate the garage, but a leader to guide a revolution. And now, for the first time since this ambitious partnership, we're beginning to see signs that Ferrari is genuinely listening. These internal upgrades, silent, invisible, but powerful, are the first real evidence that the team is tailoring its development path around Hamilton's needs, around his feedback, around his driving DNA. Because make no mistake, these recalibrations aren't just about performance, they're about timing. Hamilton's issues haven't come at the start of stints. They've come at the end, when the tires fall away, when the temperatures climb, when every component is stretched to its limit. That's when the power unit has been faltering. And that's exactly what these upgrades are designed to fix. It's no coincidence that Fred Vasseur hinted some upgrades won't be visible. He's talking about recalibrated energy recovery thresholds, predictive deployment logic, and a refined engine braking profile. all of which directly influence how the SF-25 responds when Hamilton is pushing beyond the edge. This isn't just about making the car faster on paper, it's about making it faster when it matters most. And here's the kicker. If these upgrades work, Ferrari has finally found a way to stabilize the power unit and unlock Hamilton's confidence. The dynamic inside Maranello changes overnight. The SF-25 becomes a different car. The engineers stop firefighting and start building. And Hamilton? He goes from frustrated outsider to real contender. Because at the end of the day, this entire saga, from Jeddah to Barcelona, hasn't been about podiums or press releases. It's been about control. Hamilton is fighting for control over his future. Ferrari is fighting to regain control over its narrative. And the outcome of that fight won't be decided by one race or one radio message, but by what happens deep inside the car. In those invisible systems, in those recalibrated codes. In that moment late in a race when the engine finally holds on instead of giving up. And when that happens, when Hamilton flows and the car finally responds, that's when the real season begins. So now the stage is set. Ferrari has quietly fired the first shot in what could be the most critical phase of their 2025 campaign. Not with a flashy aerodynamic upgrade, not with a bold new front wing, but with something far more radical, a redefinition of how the power unit itself behaves under pressure. A series of updates buried deep inside the SF-25's brain, designed not just to protect reliability, but to empower Lewis Hamilton when it matters most. They brought Hamilton to Maranello for moments of brilliance, for Sunday miracles, for leadership forged in fire. And for the first time, the team is beginning to act like they understand that they're no longer just managing a car. They're managing a legacy. They're managing expectation. They're managing Lewis Hamilton. Because when you have a driver of that caliber sitting in your cockpit, you don't settle for survival. You chase greatness. But here's the twist. This story is still wide open. These upgrades may unlock a more consistent, more powerful SF-25, or they may fall short, exposing deeper flaws within Ferrari's 2025 architecture. One thing's for sure, the pressure has never been higher. The clock is ticking in Austria, Silverstone, Spa. They'll all reveal whether these invisible fixes are enough to turn Hamilton from a frustrated figure into a roaring threat.